have migrated east to the state of Montana, and I'm about to hike into the Mission Mountains wilderness with my friends Andrew and Lacey. Here we go. I've always wanted to backpack through these mountains. I'm going to get a little taster this weekend. You might remember Andrew from our previous adventures in the Wallowa Mountains.
Howdy.
He's the master and commander on this trip. He has the map. And what are we up to this weekend?
Well, it's our first trip for both of us to the Mission Mountains, the Mission in the Missions. And Turquoise Lake is objective number 1. We got some other objectives lined up. We'll get to cross that bridge when we get there, but for now, current objective, Turquoise Lake.
Oh, Montana. And it's vast, vast wilderness areas. I'm looking at just a smidget of one right here. Andrew is salivating at the chops. This is his type of forest. Calls it the classic open Montana forest. And he is waiting for the western larches.
They're everywhere.
To golden up this fall.
Got a perfect example too, dead ahead through the cracks there, of the rock meadows of the Missions. Very similar in the Bitterroot.
We have arrived at our first real good overlook of the trip. Andrew says we're probably around 7,000 feet right now. And we're looking down onto Glacier Lake. It looks like a gem for sure. And we're getting some peaks. Don't know the names of most of them, but they're around 8,000–9,000 footers. We are heading up into that. Right there, our destination, Turquoise Lake, is nestled right up there. Higher and higher we snake up this hillside, switchback by switchback, and Rocky Mountain views are opening them up more and more. It looks very inviting. It's definitely calling to us. Way over there, you can see that faint ridge of peaks. Across the valley, we can see part of the Bob Marshall Wilderness, which is a very big wilderness area. You can see the ripple marks right here in this piece of shale. All these mountains are made out of what geologists call the belt rocks. A lot of mud on a vast primordial estuary. Now it's all the way up here in the mountains. This section of the trail is taking us along these beautiful slabs, sedimentary rock that the Rockies are famous for. We're almost to our destination. I think we're going to drop down and lose some elevation here. And the lake should be down around that corner. We'll get the next big view. We have arrived in the Rocky Mountain High Country. It's all coming back to me. It's been a while since I've been to this vast range. The colors of the rocks and the smells are standing out to me the most right now. Most of the big glaciers are gone from this section of the Rockies. They left their evidence behind. Look at this smoothed out section of rock here. And all the little 90-degree angles where the rock was plucked away by the ice flowing downhill. You can see a typical U-shaped valley where it carved out that lake. And then a tongue of it went down around the corner to its terminus. It's all kinds of glaciers that used to be here in the past. And they left all their evidence behind all over the place. On the way here, I was thinking of things that I would want to say to describe my experiences up here in Montana's Rockies. And there's a saying that I've read before, and it's called Montanitude. Well, this spot right here has that. I guess tomorrow we are going to scramble up there and head off to some lake off in that direction, or just stop up there and check out the views. We have arrived at Turquoise Lake, and this is going to be our home for the night. The process of getting tent set up and camp set. It's kind of hard to with scenes like this, very distracting. And I was just noticing the clouds are getting a little bit gray and cold up there. And it wouldn't be the Rockies without a good old afternoon thunderstorm. All right, camp is set, tents are up, and now the chores of relaxing in this amazing spot begin. It's definitely an A+ location, 10 out of 10, kind of on these perches above the lake. Here's a view around our camp at Turquoise Lake. This peak here is called Daughter of the Sun. Turquoise Lake is kind of down in this cleft, carved out glacial valley. The peak right there that's kind of hiding, can't really see its details, that's called Mountaineer Peak. This is Shoemaker. Then there's the Sunrise Glacier right there. Our camp here at Turquoise Lake is receiving the last rays of warm sunlight on what was a fantastic day of hiking in Montana's Mission Mountains. All told, we covered around 6 miles from trailhead to our camp with a little over 2,000 feet of elevation gain. Spent the whole afternoon just relaxing here, looking at the lake, looking at the peaks all around us. Just spent some time gathering a bunch of firewood, and the favorite, best part of the day is yet to happen. Fire time and chit-chat time under the setting sun and the rising stars. So hopefully we don't stay up too late because we got a big day tomorrow. We have a place called Point St. Charles on the itinerary, and who knows what we'll get into after that. So good night and sweet dreams. Good morning. This rain started as a light sprinkle last night and has developed into a very heavy rainstorm that hasn't let up. It's putting a damper on our plans. We might spend the day tent bound, who knows. Went and got my food bag hanging from the tree and brought it in here, and I'm just cooking breakfast and hanging out. Alright, it is close to 1 o'clock and the rain is stopped. I'm starting to see a little bit of sun breaks, and it's getting a bit more breezy on the back side of that storm. Looks like Andrew is up, out and about. You can see, looking off towards the west, how those peaks are kind of just blocking a lot of the weather and stacking up against it. It's really starting to clear up now. We're on the leeward side of the missions, and it's breaking up the clouds for us, giving us some views of some crystal clear blue sky. Alright, we are going for an evening stroll up in these rocky slabs above our camp. Try and get up on top of this one and follow it up. Let's see where it goes. Look at these striations here in the rock of the glacier. Buffed and polished it smooth. Look at this giant slab, smoothed, polished shale. A lot of water running down it. I think we're gonna head up there somewhere and check out some of the views. All right, tomorrow morning we are going to head up to that spot right there. If the weather holds and it stays clear, we have to head back to camp before it gets too dark because of the old grizzly bears that live in this area. Haven't seen one yet, but you never know if one's lurking around. This is a familiar sight on this trip. It is the beginning of the third and last day for me here in Montana. It rained all night again and into the morning, so we did not get to go up and achieve our main objective, summiting Point St. Charles. It is very cold out, much more than it was the last previous days. And just taking this first peek out of my tent, the mountains have a ton of fresh snow on them from last night. It actually feels like November right now than it does late June. These are the effects of an El Nino summer right here. So Andrew, how did your new tent stand up against the elements?
Well, it was all right. Wasn't great for the price tag, but can't do much about it now. It's my tent now, so we're gonna have to see how it does in the bigger thunderstorms of July and August.
All right, well that just about does it for my extra extended weekend trip to the Montana Rockies. It was worth every bit of the drive. Glad I got to spend time with Andrew and Lacey Quarter. Check out his YouTube channel at Northwest Wanderer. He's got a lot of good stuff. He's seen a lot in North America. Regardless of the cold and the wet, I had a really good time. I actually like cold weather over hot, believe it or not. I got to put on my mittens and put on the fall clothes again. I just like the variety that the Rocky Mountains provide. Despite not getting to go up to the summit and see this place from a higher perspective, it felt really good to just sit here by the lake for 2 days and look and point and stare. This is following up 3 weeks of really hard climbs for me, and I really needed a trip like this to get caught up on a lot of rest and relaxation and peace of mind. So the backpacks are all loaded up with wet gear. We're gonna head down the trail to the car and make our way back to good old civilization. I tell you, this definitely feels like Thanksgiving in June. Very crisp, cold air, lots of fresh snow filling in the cracks of those Rocky Mountain peaks. I'm glad this is one of the last views I'm gonna have until I come back to the Big Sky State. trail dogs. The master's behind us. They're gonna cross the creek with me.